David, can you tell us what's been going on in Pakistan in the last few days?
Yeah, actually, I just got back from Kholistan, which is an area of Pakistan that's pretty far up in the mountains. So we went and attempted to do assessments up there. These were areas that have not been reached. They're completely inaccessible by road. We're coordinating with the Pakistan military to actually let us use their helicopters to fly medical teams in there. But the damage there is absolutely unreal. We saw villages that just had been completely wiped off the face of the earth. Actually, I should say we didn't see villages. We saw what used to be a village, and what was there was just large piles of boulders. The amount of water that came down through these mountains was something that's just awe-inspiring. So it was a very incredible experience, but we're really trying to reach into these communities that have not been touched and that there's absolutely no communication coming out of.
Have you been able to work with other organizations?
You know, it's strange. We haven't seen a lot of other organizations during this disaster. In Haiti, you couldn't throw a stick without hitting another NGO. And here, I mean, you saw a few traces of the UN, maybe, you know, like a UN World Food Program rice bag or a USAID tarp. But I didn't see any assessment teams. I didn't see any trucks. I didn't see any clinics. I haven't really seen any other NGOs at all.
Tell me about the partners that you're working with right now through the IDRN.
Right now we're working primarily with PAC Mission Society. That's who I've partnered with primarily, and then also Heartsong Ministries. Betsy Brown was here for a while. She departed a few days ago, and we've been connected with just a few other IDRN partners back stateside, as in Water Missions International and Texas Baptist Men.
Tell me about the communication situation. We're talking to you now on a phone. It's a pretty interesting connection. Can you tell us about how that's been going?
Communication down in the major areas, I'm out of the mountains now in Abbottabad, is a little bit better down here, but up there it's been very difficult. Satellite phones, it's been very difficult to even get a satellite connection. The mountains are just very dramatic in the way that they rise, so there's very little angle for the satellites to actually reach you when you're up there. But down here it's a little bit better.
Can you tell us about your steps going forward?
Yeah. I've done a number of assessments here, and the assessing process has been really interesting. We've had a lot of doors open. I mean, I've conducted assessments with village leadership in a mosque with the head cleric there. So it's really been interesting to see the kind of doors that get opened when you go to these communities offering to help. And the assessments have generally revealed that what people need most is non-food items. They need, you know, bedding and sheets and pans and stoves, school supplies, things like this. That's been the overwhelming cry of the people and what we've seen the most in our assessments. So when I get back, I'm going to really try to reroute some of the direction that we've been pushing towards and try to orient things in that direction.
Can you provide an update regarding water and health? Betsy had told us about some shifts between what they expected and what they were actually seeing. Can you provide an update on that?
Yeah, water generally is pretty bad. It's better up in the mountains because the water's coming straight down, from the mountains themselves. But down in the lower areas of Pakistan, water is very bad. All the well sources have been contaminated. I actually was able to test some of the water using equipment provided by Water Missions International, and generally it's pretty bad. So we're looking at some options for that. Health is an interesting factor. What we've seen a lot of is skin infections. And other very basic infections. A lot of these infections can be prevented just by basic hygiene and sanitation practices. So we're beginning to think that maybe the best approach to fixing the health program is to provide health education initiatives for these people.
Can you tell us about what's coming into the country and what you've seen since you've been on the ground there?
I've seen a lot of the basic health supplies, basic food items. Food supplies are pretty common coming in. Seen a few water filters, not a lot. I'm actually meeting with a customs agent tomorrow to discuss all the steps that are going to be required for getting a lot of our items in country.
What's your schedule? Are you going to be there a little bit longer?
Tomorrow is actually my last day in country. I'm going to be in Islamabad meeting with some government officials I've been able to meet with military officials, frontier police officials. I've been able to meet with the Pakistani district coordinator for relief in Khorasan. And tomorrow's going to be my last slew of meetings, and that's going to be focused primarily on customs. And then I'll be returning early Saturday morning.
What do you expect to be in your reports from the assessment?
Again, I think the basic needs right now are probably non-food items, and whether the people believe it or not, while they haven't said that water is an issue, I believe just from the assessments and seeing the water that they're drinking, especially in the flatter regions of Pakistan, that water filters are going to be a big need. I think food has been basically covered. I mean, meals are obviously helpful, and I would not deter anyone wanting to send food, but non-food items right now seem to be the biggest need.
Can you tell us about the impact this trip has had on you personally?
This trip has been a lot more influential on me than Haiti was, in the sense the destruction is much more substantial, in the sense that in Haiti, you saw a few collapsed houses. In this area, you're seeing entire villages that have just been wiped off the map. You're seeing boulders, the size of 3-story buildings that have been washed down a river. Just the power and destruction of this disaster is really, really unique. And hearing some of the stories, of people being stuck in trees with their family for 3 days with no food and water, waiting to be rescued, they're really gut-wrenching stories. And on top of that, just seeing no other NGOs around just really kind of changes the perspective on this disaster. It feels a lot more desperate.
Is there anything else? I know that we have a limited time and this connection is not the best. Do you have anything else to share with us?
I would just, the people here are impoverished. They're really suffering, but, they're really good people. I think that the sentiment in the United States is that the people of Pakistan sometimes are viewed in a negative light, but I can't tell you how many times I've been invited into a home, them fully knowing that I'm an American, and been just showered with love and hospitality. I mean, people that have no food throwing meal after meal in my direction, just showering me with love, not expecting anything in return. And I think that I would just like to challenge the sentiment that a lot of Americans have of the Pakistani people.
Do you have a story that you'd like to share with us on this call?
Yeah, one unique story was a town called Afghanabad, and we went into this town. It wasn't accessible by vehicle because of the water and mud, so we had to walk to this town. It was close to nightfall. We were really doubting why we were going to this place, but then once we arrived, each family in the village came and brought us food. So you're talking numerous families. I think it was 35 families all bringing us food, and it was essentially a feast, and it was during Ramadan, so they weren't eating at all. And these are families that don't have any food to begin with. And so we sat and ate this feast, and they actually had people fanning us with palms, and we did our assessment there. And then it started to rain, and instead of having us walk back, they gave us a ride on a large tractor, which could negotiate the mud. So just incredible hospitality on behalf of these people.
David, you're going to be at the expo, is that correct?
Yes, I am, and I'd be more than happy to share with anybody that's curious about Pakistan, about the situation there, and how they can help.
Well, David, I appreciate your work and your effort. I pray that you stay safe, and we appreciate you getting this update.
Thank you, sir.